I'm excited to watch this movie as well. There is there's a lot about Fatima experience that I think that makes it not a normal experience. That this is, they say that apparitions or Marian apparitions should be more on the private devotional side of things. But I think Fatima is a little bit a different category. I think that Fatima apparition, along with the Guadalupe apparition, those two, it has been placed kind of on a level of, more important than just private. I think that there is not quite an obligation, but that there should be a strong reason or strong motive to be interested in Fatima at the least, and at the most devoted to Fatima. So to me, this is not just relegated to a private apparition or private revelation. I think all of our popes since Fatima have spoken on it. It's the only apparition that has received so much papal approval as well as endorsement. So Fatima is raised to a high level. I think Guadalupe is also to that level as well. I think Lourdes is maybe not as to that level, but it's also one of the 3 big apparitions approved in the church. So there's just 2 things I wanted to emphasize. I think most of you who know about Fatima, you already know about this, but I want to emphasize it. She says here that the Most Holy Virgin rested her hand on my shoulder, or on her shoulder, that's Lucia speaking, and she did so. And as she did so, she showed her a heart encircled by thrones, which she was holding in her hand. At the same time, the child said, "Have compassion on the heart of your mother, your most holy mother, covered with thorns, with which ungrateful men pierce it at every moment, and there is no one to make an act of reparation to remove them." Then the Most Holy Virgin said, "Look, my daughter, at my heart, surrounded with thorns, with ungrateful men, pierced at every moment by their blasphemies, ingratitude. You at least try to console me and say that I promise to assist at the hour of death, with the graces necessary for salvation, all those who on the first Saturday of 5 consecutive months shall confess, receive communion, recite 5 decades of the Rosary, and keep me company for 15 minutes while meditating on the 15 mysteries of the Rosary with the intention of making reparation to me." So this begins the first Saturday devotion, which I think has subsided, but it's starting to have a little bit of a comeback. And here, we've been doing it for years. As soon as I arrived here, I said, we need to have the first Saturday devotion. So every first Saturday is devoted to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. But what's the primary purpose of this devotion? It's for reparation. What is reparation? It's to remember that there are sins in this world, and that there are many people who don't care that they're sinning. We, the faithful Christians, are called to make reparation, that is to repair the damage done by other people. I know that sounds crazy, but other people's sins, we are called to do penance for it. We are called to make reparation. The way in which we make reparation primarily is through the first Saturday devotion, which means that we go to Mass on that Saturday, we receive communion, we pray the Rosary, and we meditate for 15 minutes, and we do a good confession. So these are the stipulations behind the first Saturday devotion. Later, Lucia was asking Mary about clarification about maybe they can't make it to confession that Saturday. Is that okay? Can I go within 8 days or so? And our Blessed Mother said, you can have more than 8 days, so long as you have that strong intention to go, so long as you receive Holy Communion in a state of grace. That means without mortal sin. So in any case, the point is that the first Saturday devotion is a beautiful devotion, but not only that, is really important. It is one of the primary ways to inject spiritual positive energy to offset the sins and the evils of this world. So we have to remember that we are called to do a little bit more. I know we have our own lives to worry about, but you have been blessed with good faith. With that faith, we are called to make reparation. That spirituality of reparation, I think, has been highly neglected in our church. So we are called to do that on First Saturdays. That is to offset the sins of this world. That's why on Saturday, I go to Planned Parenthood for our rosaries as part of that act of reparation, to pray the rosary. 큰 메시지였는지 우리가 거기에서 깨달을 수 있어요. Okay. So in conclusion, I just wanted to mention something. Unfortunately, the movie does not show this part at all, but I felt like I had to mention it before the movie starts, because after the movie you can just go home. One of the biggest things that places Fatima on the epic level is when Mary asked her children to pray for the conversion of Russia and to offer and to tell the Holy Father to offer consecration, to consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. This is epic, this is huge, but this is left out in the movie. It's a long movie already as it is, so they had to cut something out, but that to me was not something they should have cut out. That was a huge omission. But I just wanted to mention that Mary begged for the consecration of Russia, and if you did not do this, that there would be severe war, and exactly that's what happened. Because they did not consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, we had World War I and II, or especially World War II, and then the Cold War. And it was brutal. It was brutal. And at the same time, it says that if you do not consecrate Russia to my Immaculate Heart, Russia will grow and spread her errors. How did Russia grow and spread her errors? Soviet Union. And what were those major errors? Biggest one was it was an atheistic country, along with many other problems with communism. So this all happened, just like Blessed Mother Mary said. But later, our Holy Father did consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Now you look at Russia. They are building churches left and right. It is amazing to see what's going on in Russia. Here in the United States, we're closing down churches. We're burning churches. We are getting rid of churches. But in Russia, they're building. It's amazing to see how Mary is present in this epic grand scale, speaking on world wars, the Cold War, the fall of communism and the Soviet Union, and the growth of churches in Russia, and its whole conversion, and popes, and it is just grand in its scale. So to me, this is not just a normal apparition. This has immense significance. And there's so many things going on right now in the United States where I think Fatima is directly talking to us about it. So I think it's something to ponder about and to study more. But for now, you want me to shut up so you can get going with this movie? But I just wanted to mention just a few highlights so that you understand that this is just talking about something that is not just, it's very, very significant for the modern world that we now live in. So hope you enjoy the movie. Let's enjoy it together. And we have bug spray in case you have getting bit by mosquitoes. But it's kind of cold. Mosquitoes don't like cold. But anyway, if you want to spray your feet or something, you can go ahead and spray. Bug spray is coming out. God bless.
heaven.